Welcome to another episode of Cannabis Health Radio. I'm Ian Jessup.
And I'm Corey Yelland.
A stroke occurs when the blood supply to your brain is interrupted or reduced. This deprives your brain of oxygen and nutrients, which can cause your brain cells to die. A stroke may be caused by a blocked artery, ischemic stroke, or the leaking or bursting of a blood vessel, which is a hemorrhagic stroke. Our guest today suffered a stroke as well as kidney failure. And joining us from Ontario, Canada, to tell his story is Danny Elwood. Danny, it's good to talk to you. It's good that you're still around after suffering a stroke, kidney failure.
Yeah, it was a little touch and go there in the fall. I was concerned that I wasn't going to make it, but good Lord decided that he wanted to keep me around a little longer, so here I am.
Well, that's good news. Now, prior to suffering your stroke, last summer, was it, or last fall?
Right at the end of August, the last day of August, I suffered a stroke.
Last day of August 2016.
I was having some water retention problems. My feet were swelling, so the doctor gave me a diuretic, and that took all the potassium out of my system, which was a very contributing factor for me having the stroke.
Oh, so the diuretic, okay, I understand.
Was the diuretic that did me in, but now that they've got that under control, and the diuretic caused the kidney problems, and then the kidneys went out, and I had a health nurse come to my house. Like, I have PSWs now, which are personal support workers, and the lady suggested that I use cannabis for the pain instead of the medication they gave me, the pills and stuff. And the cannabis is a godsend, really. It helps manage the pain, and it doesn't make it so that it hurts so much. And then going to the bathroom is the biggest issue, because I'd suffered a stroke and a heart attack at the same time. I didn't want to have those problems going to the bathroom with the pills, because it was just about impossible. It's like you wouldn't go for a couple of days, and then with the pills, the stools would be really, really big and extremely hard to push out. With the cannabis, I can go to the bathroom freely every day and not have any problems going at all.
Danny, did you say besides the stroke you suffered a heart attack?
Yeah, stroke and heart attack.
Stroke and heart attack. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Well,
what were were there any warning signs prior to the stroke or heart attack?
None. There were none.
None at all. You didn't
have
have any headaches, or you didn't have any pain in your heart at all, or
nothing.
You weren't feeling fatigued or anything like that?
No, I was just living my life like I'd always lived my life, just regular guy with a young family, and like 2 little boys and my wife and I, and that was it. And just one day, bang.
What came first, the heart attack or the stroke?
I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure it was the stroke. Like, they didn't tell me that I had a heart attack till I was in the hospital.
Okay, so it's not like you started getting this massive chest pain like you had a dump truck on your chest or something. No. Interesting. Okay.
The stroke came first.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you're pretty lucky to come out the other side of that.
Oh, I was. I was in the hospital for a couple of months there with the kidney failure. They were more concerned with that than they were the heart attack and stroke. Like, I was just like, am I going to survive this? I've got a young family, and I want to be there for my kids, right?
Right.
So I was pretty concerned, but they seem to have got it under control now, and I'm on cannabis regularly, and I don't have that big urge to push when you have to go to the bathroom now, so I'm not scared that I'm gonna, sit on the throne one day and blow my heart out trying to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, which actually is a really big worry, like particularly, Ian's kind of looking at me with big eyeballs here, after heart attacks and when you've had open heart surgery, as I did, that's one of the things that can actually blow your grafts in your heart.
Straining.
So that, so that becomes a real issue, not just, something that's uncomfortable. It really becomes an issue, like a life and death issue.
Yeah, it really did. Like, I was really concerned that I was going to blow my heart out straining to go on the pills. The pills, they do the same thing, but they cause you so much straining on your colon that it's just impossible to get a poop out.
Yeah, the little things become really important, don't they, Danny?
So much more important, yeah. Exactly. It's like you don't want to strain, so it's
I bet you never thought you'd be having a conversation like this, eh?
No, I never did, actually, but it's important to get my story out there because I'm sure there are more people that suffer the same kind of ordeal with these pills, and the cannabis is saving my life.
Yeah.
The one thing that I was concerned is that having two little ones, the government is so quick to yank your kids away from you when you're use the cannabis.
Yes.
And it's unfortunate the way it is, but
yeah, I've said this before. Sorry, Danny. I've said this before,
go ahead.
And I'll continue to say it. It is such a crazy system where they will take your kids away if you're taking cannabis. But you can take psychiatric drugs and you're fine. You can take other pharmaceutical medications and there's no problem. But
no, it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
it's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, and until the public wakes up and starts electing politicians around the world who are not opposed to the use of cannabis, governments will continue to oppress this herb and plant because it's in their financial interests as a result of the pharmaceutical lobbying in order to promote pharmaceuticals. Now, that's not to say pharmaceuticals don't help. They do. There are pharmaceuticals that do help. But this is a plant. Let people grow it. Let people eat it. Let people smoke it. Let people make the oil. Let them deal with their own health issues. Let's not make this a money issue for the pharmaceutical companies. Now, I'll get off.
And that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, I'll get off my soapbox now, and I want to ask you about, you have a stroke, you have a heart attack. Tell me about the kidney failure, the kidney issue.
Kidney failure is hereditary in my family. My grandfathers had failing kidneys, and that's what he eventually passed away from. And what happened was one of my kidneys has failed and is no longer working, but I still have one that still is. I'm able to go to the bathroom, and we monitor how much I pee on a regular basis, and every day a health nurse comes in, and basically I have a lot of swelling in my lower extremities, so they've got me socked up and whatever, trying to get it to go down, but it doesn't go down, so I bathe my feet every day and and I have to lay down a certain amount of time per day just to try to keep the swelling down, but one kidney just doesn't seem to do it, and I can feel a pain underneath my shoulder blade where the one kidney hurts all the time. That's what I kind of need the cannabis for, just to keep that pain from controlling my life. I want to be able to interact with my children and wife. So the cannabis helps me have more of a normal life, not so that I'm strapped to a bedroom all day, because we live in government housing because of my inability to work. The unit that we live in has stairs in it, so I have to make sure that I'm upstairs.
Danny, this has been a
bathroom.
Sorry to interrupt you there, but this has been a long haul, because I'm just kind of going through my messages with you, and we've been talking for 3 years now. And when you first contacted me, you had diabetes, peripheral neuropathy on your right side, chronic fatigue, and complete erectile dysfunction. Can you talk about that?
Yeah. I still have the complete erectile dysfunction, but the one saving grace is that I can still produce semen. The doctors say that if I was completely out to lunch there, I wouldn't be able to even have children. And so far, so good. I've been able to. My wife has to be very patient with me, but we've been able to, have a relationship of a sexual nature, even though I can't get an erection. Out of that have come 2 beautiful children, so I have been very, very lucky.
Yeah, I know when you contacted me, you didn't expect for that to be a possibility.
No, I did not.
So I do remember when you wrote me and said that she was pregnant, or phoned me. I can't remember now, but that was a pretty awesome day.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, no, that's great. Danny, how much cannabis do you take a day?
I try to limit myself. I use a vaporizer, and I put it in a vape, and I vape probably 3 times a day.
Are you vaping dry material or oil?
I'm vaping dry material, and I'm taking oil by putting it on a paper and then just swallowing it
down. Yeah.
Yeah.
How much oil do you take, Danny?
Not very much. Maybe a little dab on a paper, and that's it.
Are you just doing that once a day?
No. The oil, no, oil once a day. Yeah.
Yes.
Because I don't want to be too out to lunch for my kids.
No. Just enough to get you functioning.
Just enough, yeah. So that I can function on a normal basis, yeah.
So if you did not vape and take the oil, what would a day be like for you?
I would sit upstairs in my room and basically not do anything or go anywhere, because I would just sit in my chair and try to amuse myself on the computer, because I can't walk around. It really controls the pain from the arthritis. I have very arthritic hips. I just can't walk. With the oil, I can at least move around and get around a little bit. If I didn't have the oil, I would be bound to a chair.
Are you doing CBD at all?
Yes, I am.
It's like a fairly decent dose of CBD, or just CBD that happens to be in with your cannabis oil?
Just whatever is in my cannabis oil, yes.
Yeah, because, CBD is awesome with, where it really shines is with PTSD, inflammatory conditions, and seizures seems to be the thing. I have a lot of friends who are on CBD for arthritis, and it's just made an incredible difference.
Yeah, no, I can't even begin to tell you how much just the oil that I take changes my life. Like the ability to be active with my children, and is just the world to me, and it is everything. So it's like it's why I consider cannabis oil and cannabis a godsend. Really do.
Danny, a number of people that we talk to and we interview, when we ask them about the cannabis oil and where they would be without it, many of them say that they would probably not be here. Do you feel the same way?
Yes, absolutely. I wouldn't be able to survive without it. It also helps my kidneys, so there's no way that I could survive without it. You know, that's why it's so upsetting that the government looks at it the way it does and wants to take away my kids because I use it.
Do any of the medical doctors that you deal with know that you're taking cannabis?
Yes, I just got a license to take it, so I'm protected.
Great.
So I just recently was seeing a doctor, and he prescribed me the license and set me up with getting government cannabis.
So does that mean that if you were taking it and the police came to or authorities, Children and Family Services came to your house?
Yeah, now I am now protected.
You're now protected. Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to clarify that.
But before, when I was taking it without the consent, because I always knew that I would have the problem, and I've taken it as a preventative for cancer because that also runs as a hereditary thing in my family. So I've been taking it now, ever since I've known Corey for 3 years now.
Boy, Danny, you've got some health issues, don't you?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, are you on the mend, or are you just stable?
I'm just stable right now. It's like I have to see the doctor yet for the kidneys and discuss with him what the plan of action. Either it's going to be dialysis or a kidney transplant, but they don't like to give kidney transplants to people on cannabis oil. There's something about the mold in the buds that they fear that you can have a relapse or something. I don't know exactly what it is.
Well, it's I really question that. I mean, I think it's a bunch of BS. There was a kid in the States who died. He needed a lung transplant. They found out he was on marijuana, and they refused the lung transplant.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, it is. It is. So I'm looking probably at dialysis for my kidneys. I'm young enough to have a transplant. You know, I'm only 52. And I think that I would be a good candidate for it, but got to listen to what the doctors say, right? So if they don't feel that I can survive it, then dialysis is what my eventuality will be.
What about your stroke and the after effects of your stroke? Has there been any negative impact as a result of that?
Just the walking, and I have a lot of memory loss. I have to be reminded a lot about times and places and things like that, and it's just frustrating because I was a completely capable guy before all this happened, and I can't remember anything now. I have to leave reminders for myself, and my wife has to remind me to do things, and my friends have to. It's just frustrating. It's just a source of frustration. Mm-hmm. All the time because when you don't have your mental facility, you think there's something wrong with you, and there really isn't. This is manageable, but it is a disease. So it's like you have to respect that, and understand that your kidneys aren't working the way they should be, and you have to take the proper steps to be okay. But when a doctor tells me that I got to give up cannabis for a while and take those damn pills, I felt like telling them to stick it where the sun don't shine, right?
Danny, with your kidney issue, if you and I were to get together and have a beer, could you have a beer?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah. I can drink and do whatever I want, but that's what bothers me, is that I've never been a drinker.
No, I was just thinking, because sometimes I ask some very stupid questions because I don't know about these issues. When you have when you have one kidney, I'm just wondering. And you said you monitor your urine output every day, and I'm just wondering if having one kidney, if having a beer would be too much, or having two beer would be too much.
No, you could have a beer. I don't think I could do two beers, though.
Yeah, okay.
I would be as drunk as a skunk, man. I just drink. It wouldn't be because I couldn't pee it out. It'd just be because I couldn't handle it as a person.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've never, ever drank alcohol. That's not my thing.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, I've struck you off the list to have a beer then.
Yeah, well, we could have a cocktail.
Yeah, we're only about 3,000 miles away, but that's fine.
Yeah.
Danny, do you make your own oil?
No, I don't make my own oil. No, I have to purchase it. It's something that I could do, but because of being in a government housing, don't do, just to alleviate any of the
issues that might happen.
Whispers.
Danny, of all the issues you had a stroke, you had a heart attack, you had kidney failure, you've got severe arthritis. Which one of those four is the worst for you to deal with?
I would say it would be the arthritis. Like, if I don't have the cannabis to take for the pain, the hip all of a sudden gets to be unmanageable, and then it makes my tummy feel upset. And, so I would say the hip and the arthritis.
Have the doctors ever talked about a hip replacement?
I need to get my blood sugar under control before they'll do that. Like, they're not gonna do surgery on somebody with high blood pressure.
Oh, so you've got high blood pressure as well.
Yeah.
You've got the whole smorgasbord going on, Dan.
I know. That's why I seeked you out when I did all those years ago. I was trying to find a way to prolong my life so that I wouldn't have to go through this, but fate caught up with me.
Danny, you said you're 52 now. When did your health issues start to go south for you? How old were you?
Yeah, mid-30s.
Mid-30s. And you were fine until your mid-30s?
Yeah.
Did this just come out of nowhere, or was it a kind of a gradual thing?
It was kind of a gradual thing, and the mistake I made is that I didn't take my blood pressure problems all that serious when I was healthy. Like, I had it, and it's like, oh, well, I have high blood pressure. Everybody in my family has high blood pressure, and didn't properly take care of myself. So it's on me, too, for not doing what I needed to do to... and that was the mistake that I made.
Yeah, it catches up with you, doesn't it?
It does. It does. You don't realize how fast it will, but it does catch up with you. And then one day you're sitting there wondering what the heck's wrong, or what did I go wrong? But I know that I didn't take care of myself when I was younger, and I'm partly to blame for it. And that's the message that I want to tell everybody today, is that if you got blood pressure problems, you shouldn't just ignore them. You need to take care of yourself, because eventually, when you get older, you will have problems.
Yeah, I've always said that
living proof.
Yeah, I've always said that people take better care of their automobiles than they do themselves. And, it's a lesson people, I think, really only learn once something starts to go wrong with them. And the difficulty that they have is that because it is so unexpected, they're looking for the magic pill, the silver bullet, to help them. And that's why
out there.
It's not out there. I mean, cannabis is probably the closest thing to the silver bullet, but it's not going to help 100% of the people, and it's not going to help you if you are in such poor physical condition that nothing can help you, right, Corey?
Right,
particularly
absolutely.
people who have cancer, when you've talked to people who... You say it works 80% of the time, and the 20%, it may have worked, but they were too far gone.
Too far gone. The ones normally people we lose are the ones who have had all the chemo and radiation, and their bodies have been all ravished, and they've got one foot in the grave already, and it's kind of like they want to be fixed, and it's like
there's no fixing it. Once at that stage.
No,
it's just you just have to accept the fact that your life is in decline, and that's the brutal truth of it. That's why you have to take care of yourself when you're younger. So you don't avoid going through that kind of stuff.
I think we all think we're invincible, as we're younger and growing and growing up.
Bulletproof. That's what I was always the thing. Was you just think that you're gonna survive forever, and you just have this brutal reality come crashing down around you.
Yeah, and you're like, what the heck?
And I'm like, what did I ever do? Why do I deserve this? But it's just, when you have that high blood pressure, you have to take care of it. You really do.
Yeah.
Danny, well, we hope you improve over the weeks and months and years ahead, and you're able to...
Well, I hope so too, Ian. I have a lot to live for, I got 2 little boys that I love to death, and I love my wife to death, and she thanks you for the compliment, by the way, Corey.
Oh, does she? I saw a picture of his wife, and she is, stunningly beautiful. And
oh, that's great.
I told Danny as much.
Good.
Yes, and I told her that what you said, and she was kind of taken aback by it. It's like because I tell her every day, but she hears it from me all the time. So when she hears it from other people too, she's kind of surprised by it. I'm like, why should you be surprised? But she is.
Oh, that's very nice.
That's nice.
Yeah, Danny, anything you want to say in conclusion?
I would just say that when people have this high blood pressure problem, that they need to be aware of it. And, and cannabis has really, really saved my life. Like, the vaporizing keeps me so that I can survive and function throughout a day. Whereas if I didn't have it, I would be sitting in a chair moping and feel sorry for myself and probably want to die. And I don't want to die. I want to live.
Good for you. Danny, great of you to do this. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, guys, you're more than welcome. And I hope my story helps somebody else that would be listening to this.
Danny, thank you so much.
Yes, Corey, it was nice to talk to you.
Nice to talk to you, too. Giving you a big hug.
Okay, thanks.
Take care.
Big hugs back. I will.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And there you have it, another edition of Cannabis Health Radio. If you'd like to tell your story about the medical use of cannabis, send us an email at info@cannabishealthradio.com. Thanks for listening, everyone.
You've been listening to the Cannabis Health Radio podcast. Visit our website, cannabishealthradio.com, and follow us on Facebook and Twitter.